Welcome everyone joining us on Facebook or via our YouTube channel. We're also there. We're going to give everybody another minute to join us in the Zoom room, and then we'll get started.
That's not fair, putting those little French scenes on there. I just can't stand it.
Yeah, well, this is not a new picture. This is an old picture. Everything is closed in France right now because of the COVID.
Yeah, I know, but it's still so reminiscent.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to get started. So as always, I invite you to close your eyes now and to turn your attention away from the busyness, both of the world outside and the busyness of the mind. One of the things that first happens when we start to meditate, just closing our eyes and trying to place our attention onto the breath, is that we oftentimes feel overwhelmed by the waves of thoughts just coming one after the other, one after the other. We think that we sit in meditation in order to find some quiet, and the first thing that happens is the noise within just gets amplified in ways that we didn't expect. And so sometimes we get to a place where we think that it's because of meditation that so much is happening within. Well, it's not exactly true, because the noise of the mind always is happening. But the moment we close our eyes and we focus our attention inward, we become aware. We become aware of the chaos, of the rambling mind. And we could spend some time just observing the mind. And we would see, by just observing all the random thoughts that the mind thinks, how insane the mind is. So many stories and worries about past conversations that we rehash, future conversations that we rehearse, constantly fighting with what was, constantly fearing what might be. The mind that is always unsettled. The mind that always wants things to be different than they are, to change. The mind that continuously compares, evaluates, criticizes. The mind that lives between comfort and discomfort, wanting more of the first one and less of the other one. And so we close our eyes and here it is. And we can finally, in fact, through meditation, see it in its nakedness. And we'll do this practice today just by stepping back a little bit and taking the stand of the ed in Hebrew, the observer. Suddenly we see the mind for what it is. We become aware, like I said, of its insanity. And that allows us to begin a process of no longer being so attached to all the crazy things the mind comes up with. Beginning a process of no longer believing all that the mind is saying. Because the mind can't help it but keep on saying whatever comes through, I guess, itself, through the mind. Chaotically, randomly, fighting with reality, never at home, always struggling, always wrestling. So that's going to be my invitation for us today. To observe the thoughts arising and to try to put a post-it note on them, to label them. There are two broad categories of thoughts: thoughts of the past or thoughts of the future. Because the mind can never be present. The mind is either anticipating what's next or fighting with what was. But under those two main categories, there are layers of subtle namings that we can put on thoughts. Most of the thoughts bent on the future are about future conversations. Whatever we are anticipating, meeting, talking to people, we rehearse. Thoughts of the future are also our to-do list. All the things we have to do, we're going to have to do. The mind has a lot of anxiety around that. Thoughts of the future are always anticipating what could happen, what might happen. It can be very mundane, just anticipating whether there'll be traffic on our drive or not. The mind is obsessed because of fear. Fear that things will not unfold. the way it wants them to unfold. The thoughts of the past are conversation we already had. What he or she said, what I should have said in answer to what they said that I answered. And we kind of rehashing all of that. We are rehashing moments of our lives, rewriting our story. Resisting, not wanting the life that we've had to be exactly what it was, having regrets. And then there are the thoughts that are about imagining, fantasizing, dreaming of alternate possibilities and realities. So let's spend today just trying to look. And the practice is really simple, when people ask us, well, what are you thinking about? And then we look and then we tell them, well, I've been thinking about this. That's the same kind of process. So imagine maybe your mantra to be, what am I thinking about? And just look. Nothing wrong. We just look and we take notes. The mind is thinking about any one of the categories that I mentioned, past, future, and all that goes underneath that. And the posture you want to take is just the posture of saying to yourself, oh, look at that, with curiosity, but without getting attached. If a thought arises that is going to be juicy, or future or past, just observe. Don't get caught in it. Don't follow it. Don't give in to it. Don't yield into it. Don't involve yourself with any thought. Remain uninvolved. You're just the observer, the neutral observer. And just put a little post-it note on any thought. And we'll start this process with a shalom chant. Just observe. Make room. Create space, spaciousness. And just observe. Be the impartial observer, and with curiosity label any thought that arises. And use your breath as your ground, as the place to return to if you get distracted, if a particular thought overwhelms you and you yield into it, you get caught. Observe. Observe the mind. Just observe. And we gently let go of our practice. Gently move out of our meditation. Perhaps taking a couple of deeper breaths and stretching. We often identify who we are with the mind and the thoughts because most of what the thoughts think are stories about this I or this me. But when we do these kind of practices, these kind of exercises of observing the thought, of observing the storytellers, and the question becomes, what is watching? What is observing? If I am not the thoughts, if there is a place in me that is able to observe the thoughts and therefore is not the thought, what is that? In a moment, we'll close with a threefold Shalom chant. I will be traveling the end of the week, and our friend Alan has offered to lead the meditation Thursday and Friday. I am deeply grateful. But for now, we dedicate our practice to all beings. That if we have received just a little bit of shalom, of wholeness, if we have found just a little bit more harmony and inner peace through our practice, and may we share these blessings with all beings, that all beings might also find shalom. Modani, thank you.
Done.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Same to
Thank you.
Donnie, have a good trip.
Have a good trip. Stay well.
week.
I'll
See you next week.
Monday.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Olivier.
Modani.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rabbi. See you next week.
Rabbi.
Thank you.
And take care, everybody.